All right. As far as you and I are concerned, we are live. And we are on YouTube. We're doing the thing. I'm very excited, very nervous, but very excited to be able to see how this goes. So, for the time being, I have not gotten word from Micah on his whereabouts, but once he gets on there, that'd be fantastic. So, if you would just text him and let him know to check his email, that's where I've dropped the link to everybody. Also, today's episode is sponsored by my wife because she dropped some awesome new dice for me over Christmas. It just so happens that if you can see that, that is a blood red swirly ink in the center of an otherwise translucent resin. But when you
That's
cool. You see, if it would focus, is it going to focus? No, that's okay. Oh, yeah, it is. Is it? Is it really? No? The One Ring is inside there.
Ooh, nifty.
And it's like that for each and every one of my die. So now if I want to kill you, I will really do that. That's morbid, and I like it. Okay. Well, I'm going to give everyone here a brief recap and a welcome to all those that are here for the first time and that are giving this stream a chance. My name is Dale. I have been designing the Eternal storytelling engine for, what is it now, like something like 3 years? I did this about mid-COVID or towards the end of COVID, that I really started looking for people to step in and help out. People have come and gone, and I am thrilled to say that I still have some old timers, which is really nice. I have a private chat. What the freak? Oh, I see that.
If I may interject,
yeah,
it was in 2022 that, no, it may have been early 2023. No, it was 2022. It was late 2022 that you invited me over for the first time. We made characters and we did a brief like one shot style session.
Yeah.
Rip ? Bruno.
Yeah.
He had a big sword. He was like he was kind of like Guts but less trauma. He was kind of like Guts with less trauma.
Hey guys, give me one moment, all right?
Also, hi YouTube.
Quick commercial break. I gotta go make sure that my kid has a stuffed animal. Otherwise, we will not avert a meltdown of sorrow and sadness.
Hashtag relatable.
The real question is, do I find the stream on YouTube and have it have at least a viewer to try and help get the outreach?
I was debating throwing the link at people as well.
Well, on a different note, the kit that I'm working on right now, because for everyone at home, you can see I have all the Gundam kits because I'm a big nerd. Real Great Shining Gundam. It's probably the one that most people would recognize because G Gundam has a very iconic opener and probably one of the most iconic attacks in all of anime.
All right. Well, it's probably for the best that we took a little bit of a break to allow Micah to get on here. But if you guys would like to share this link, yes, I heard every word. Go for it. Let's see. I believe this should be going to Aeternal.
Yes, it is.
Let's see. View on YouTube? Do I dare?
I found it and I'm throwing the link at people because I can.
Wonderful. Okay, I just heard the delayed version of that very statement, Kim, so thanks for that. Okay. Well, while Micah is figuring things out, we will begin. Now, today I'm going to be focusing on the XP system as we're playtesting. I know that I've said I'm just throwing just XP at you, right? Well, if you've taken a look at your emails as of today, I've dropped you the official manual. And I've given you some instructions on how you might assist me in the editing process. Right now, I'm looking for basically any loopholes. And Haydn, this is where you're going to excel. I want you to min-max the frick out of this.
I can
I
only
want you to
promise
get
to
in
try.
there and get into the stats and do your best to bust the game. And really get into the magic system, get into the ranged, get into all of it so that we can really settle down and make more clear those things that are supposed to be prescriptive to the experience on the table.
I mean, I've
and for-
already kind of given you some of that with just going like, hey, you're paralyzed. You can't move anymore.
Right. Part of it is execution. And so for me to design a game and to be reminded of that is actually really important for me to make sure that we stay true to the circumstance.
Right.
But also...
And granted, I did also specify when I did use that. I'm like, this is like a last resort kind of a thing. Especially because it's incredibly dangerous. I could just end up immediately frying them because
Correct.
I'm not careful.
Let's not get too deep into that because this might be the first time that people happen to see us, right?
True.
So, I'm really excited to be able to jump in to the story. Now, I'm going to give people a quick little recap. I see we have 2 viewers that might just be, right now, it might just be Kim and Haydn themselves, which, lovely. Thank you so much. But
One of them
as more
is
people-
for sure me.
The other one is not me.
Oh, well, hi, person. Thanks for being here.
Welcome.
Yeah, if you're interested in learning more about this engine, check out the description on this video. If you'd like to support, make sure you drop a comment. Make sure you share with those in your sphere. If there's someone at your TTRPG table that's really interested in dynamic world difficulty settings, so it's not always like, oh, roll a 5, or beat a 5, or beat a 15. This engine is designed to have the world respond to you and your choices. It's also designed to help you leverage the danger in a given situation. So if you're in an environment where you're trying to break into a fort, right? It's on constant patrol. There's a spotlight. There's guards. There's archers. Those up the ante, but those provide a modifier for me to be able to play with. Otherwise, it gives me a flat dice size that I then get to roll to supplement that. If these guys were in this situation, if Kim and Haydn were trying to get into this place, they might take opportunity to distract the guards and lower the modifier that I get to use. If they were to take out the signal, the spotlight, that's another tick down. And so on and so forth. They could keep going and remove until there's literally nothing else between them and their goals inside. So, it's very dynamic that way. Would I let that happen? It's rules is written, so we'll see how that goes. Okay.
The answer lies in Dice Tell Stories.
Yes. They've told some stories. As we already mentioned, we have jumped in from about, 2 to 3 years of actual playtime. And this is every other week doing the exact same stuff. Sitting down for 2 hours and having a ball playing a game together, right? Well,
Yep.
The point of this playtest is to make sure that when we actually do hit market, that people are already aware of the engine and they know what it is that they can do when they get it in their hands. If you'd like to help support that, we'll give you some options, but it'll be forthcoming, okay? For now, stick with us. I'm glad to be able to have you participate. Let's give a quick recap for our players, and then we'll jump into our game. Last session, we had the opportunity for each of our main characters to, I wouldn't say reconcile, but there were elements of the story that were better served from each of the characters participating on their own. Kirdan, who happens to be what in other engines might be called a genasi, is a djinn, in other words. An Aesida.
We call them wisps here.
Wisps. And in this engine, that means functionally he gets to change certain aspects of his physicality. He is I believe it was a storm wisp, a lightning wisp.
Originally it was lightning, but certain factors have fundamentally changed him in ways that are not normal for wisps.
How would you define what a vessel is as a player right now?
So as a player, the way that I would define it is kind of like a jar for the power of a god, right? It's they're filling up the jar with the power, and there might be a spigot on it that I use to release that power. I may not be able to channel all of it right away, but one day maybe it'll be big enough that the spigot will be bigger, or I can just treat it like it's being picked up and opened up and dumped out.
Yeah.
But in the case of Kirdan, he is a vessel, and that's what has fundamentally changed him. He was originally a lightning wisp. He could just channel the power of lightning, but the god that he is the vessel of also happens to be over storms in the sea, so he now has the power of water on top of that, which is very bizarre. Wisps aren't supposed to have two, they're supposed to have one.
Correct. Now, in the course of the game, I don't think that we've had a little while since we've really described your character. So what can you tell us about how your character looks, how they're dressed, and maybe describe your character's looks, their dress, and a song that you think speaks to you about your character's nature and personality?
Ooh. I might have to get back to you on the song, but in terms of what he looks like, Kirdan is roughly 5'11", 6 foot-ish, somewhere in there. He has hair that tends to stand almost straight up, a result of him being a lightning wisp. It kind of flows like storm clouds. Not always, but sometimes. When it comes to what he wears, or his eyes also, this is an important detail. Over the course of the story, they might change a little bit, but that has more to do with when he's channeling certain powers. Most of the time, they are a stormy gray color. In terms of like weight, he probably weighs somewhere in the ballpark of 180, I'd say. He's not super lean, but he's not like beefy either. Currently he's wearing more like traveling robes is what I describe them as, but it's more like a long coat. He has armor plates on his arms, partially to represent his training as a guardsman before he took his actual career in the Aemarys Cove. A shield on his back and a sword at his waist. He doesn't always use both of those. He's more likely to use the shield than the sword, as we've seen. Well, as those of us playing have seen, I should say.
Correct, yeah.
But he's always the person to try and lend a helping hand. His job in the Aemarys Cove before leaving it and becoming a vessel is he was a storm rod for the city. Basically, he helped them predict the storms that were coming and prepare the city for it in the event of big ones with disastrous outcomes.
I think it's a pretty good summary as it stands.
Yeah.
We don't want to give too much away, but I think that's a solid place for us to put the pin in and allow us to discover the character for those that are new to the story. So,
and I'll figure out a song as we keep going.
That's great. Now, Kim, you've had the time to look up your song. If you don't have one,
that's actually what I was doing because I have an entire playlist.
I know.
Yeah, you know me too well. That I literally have an entire playlist for
Of
Ophelia.
course you do. Of course you do.
But the
What would you
specific
say
song
is
that
the
I was
number one? Yeah.
the specific song that I was looking up, because I keep forgetting. I know the title of the song, but I keep forgetting who it's by. It is a song called "Still Got Time" by a band called Flux Vortex.
Okay, for those that are watching, your homework is to go find that and drop the link in chat. Okay. Now, Kim, tell us a bit about Ophelia. What does she look like? How is she dressed?
Well, Ophelia is a mossfoot. She is just barely over 3 feet tall. Brown hair, green eyes. Currently, upon the arrival back to town, she was wearing her traveling clothes, which consists of a long-sleeved forest green tunic, black travel pants, boots, fingerless gloves, and a hooded cloak for weather purposes.
Yeah.
She also is wearing a circlet on her head that looks like willow branch leaves.
How would you describe, well, I don't even want to describe your character all that much, but if you could describe her, maybe in a sentence, maybe in a phrase or even a word, how brief can you be describing your character's personality?
Well, that's a darn good question that I'm not entirely sure how to answer.
So now, Haydn's got the skills in coming up with his explanation of character, but doesn't have a song. You got the song, and maybe the best way to get introduced to your character then, Kim, is just to meet her.
You'd think that someone who usually mains bards, I would be more well spoken about this stuff. But alas.
That's okay. That's all good. Let's jump right back into the game as it stands. Last we left off.
I'm sorry to interject, but I found a song.
Okay, what's the song?
The Legend of Ashitaka from Princess Mononoke. It kind of fits. Once people get to know Kirdan more, it kind of fits.
Nice.
Okay. If you are prepared, let me bring you back into where we left off. As Ophelia Barkhollow, the Mossfoot, small but mighty, at least in her head, and in practicality, she had been wrestling with feelings of worry for her parents, as was discovered that the Empire had been pressuring them to produce more and more resources through a legal trap. They are now obligated to continue producing their brewery into oblivion. They don't have the means to keep up with the demand of the entire empire, as they are basically one building. They might have branches, but they're basically outsourcing and taking their resources to the brewery on the top of the Halfjord Mountains. Pretty expensive, but it's also pretty good stuff. So it balanced out before, and they were making ends meet and doing pretty well for themselves. And then the Empire came along. Now, Ophelia, your parents were overjoyed to see you again when they realized you were home. They were pretty well distracted taking care of the brewery and the inn that's connected to it. When you gave them 1,000 pieces of gold, they were overcome. As you reconciled, as you had your moment together, we didn't really describe much of what happened during that interaction because it was getting late. Maybe some time had passed. You guys had the chance to visit, maybe an hour or two, 30 minutes, who knows. But you finally get to bed. You snuggle up with one of your stuffed animals. You think of Jericho, a dear friend who's no longer with us. And as you laid your head down, you dreamed. You saw the family willow tree, normally lush and moving with no breeze of its own accord, now almost entirely stripped down. The only leaves and fronds left behind are dried and brittle. And the feeling you had as you looked upon the tree and the gentle communications that you've had before come as a harsh but faint whisper. Why didn't you do more? And as you look, you sensed something. You were trying to figure out what might have been happening, but you looked to the center of town, into the central courtyard of this upper level of town. And you noticed that the spot where the firestorm had purified the earth was dark and seemed to be consuming the light. When you approached to investigate, a hand shot out from the gravel, from the cobblestone, grabbing your neck and pulling itself up from the ground like something from the undead. And as one horn and two horns came out from the top, you recognized this was someone from your memory, and someone who had affected you and Jericho quite deeply. He said some choice words to you, and if I recall, that was something along the lines of, "Excited to be seeing you again." And to that moment, we return. Ophelia, I need you to make a body roll. You're trying to beat an 8.
Okay, and remind me again what my mastery die is. D10, right?
Yes.
Okay. Just making sure, because I couldn't... Because that's what I have in my character sheet, but I wasn't sure if we had changed that.
Yeah.
And you said body roll?
Body, meaning that you can choose between brawn or grace.
Cool. Just wondering.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's the same number either way for me, but...
Yeah. The flavor helps.
I'm going to go with grace, and that is an 8 exactly.
Meets it, beats it, baby. Okay. So as he has his strong hand gripping your throat, how would you escape from that? Just be brief. But he's got you, so you got to be brief.
I'm just going to step back.
You step back and yank yourself back.
Yeah.
Okay. Step back, pull his hand off of you, and you look down upon this half-submerged Tauren, it looks like, just sticking out of the ground. And he's trying to press himself up as something feels... Go ahead and roll me a senses roll.
That is a... Huh?
But the fingers are flying, I can tell.
That is a 10 total.
You beat an 8. Not quite a crit, but you beat an 8. So, you look down upon the Tauren and you realize he is fighting to keep himself from sinking back underneath the cobblestones. But he's still talking to you. Oh, this is going to be fun. This is going to be fun. I really hope that you and yours have done what you can to best prepare for what's coming. And he dips back another couple inches into the ground. Do you say anything in return?
Wait, so is he coming or going?
He tried to fight his way out of the ground. It seemed like grabbing you was the thing that kept him anchored, and now he's slowly slipping further and further back underground.
Oh. Well, let's just make him slip faster then, shall we? I'm going to summon some vines to yank his butt back into the ground.
As you summon the vines, I'm going to need you to cast a spell, and you can choose the way that we did this and the way that we've been adjusting this particular mechanic. As you roll an attack die, I want you to assign your magic modifier, whichever one you choose, to hit him, which I don't think it's going to take that much, or assign that same modifier to your damage. To be one or
we are
the
going...
other. I should say to your effect.
I think I'll go with adding it to the effect.
Excellent. Okay. I'm
Just
going to
because I
have
want to
you...
make sure that this thing goes into the ground where it belongs.
Yeah. So I'm going to roll contrast. Oh, that's a perfect roll. Not for you, for the story. Okay. You go ahead and make your attack roll using a soul modifier. And which one did you pick?
I picked Will.
That's crazy because so did he. What's your total?
My total is 12.
As you call these vines up, you see him strain, you see the muscles flexing, and suddenly vines skittering, slithering across the cobblestones of this place, almost too fast to track with your eye, until they rear up and whoosh, instantaneously lash this man and start yanking him down even further. But now he's truly straining. And with your senses roll being what it was, I'll let you right off of that. You can see that the vines that are touching him are beginning to smoke. He's going down, but they're beginning to smoke. And he's still just laughing. Oh, don't you want to hear about all the plans we've got? I got to get myself ready for the coronation, got to make sure that all manner of preparation is done here. And don't you get it? You're so busy out and about you couldn't stay long enough at home to help out your mommy and daddy. Your aunties are working more hard than ever. Working to the bone, all four of them. And I can hardly say they want to steal the inn from their sibling anymore. They just don't want to lose their investment. And don't worry, speaking of investments, I got tabs on your cousin. He's out and about. I just don't get it. And you almost pull him deeper. And he's fighting it now. He's almost back underground. He's like hanging on like he's on the edge of a cliff. And he's slipping. You don't get it, do you? I feed on these people like a swamp fly on a horse's haunches. They taste like honey, darling. And I intend to suck them dry. I can smell them from here. In this little dream we've got going on. Oh yeah, I know this is a dream. Don't you think I did this on purpose? Don't worry about where I am. If you keep going as you are, you'll find me soon enough. Just gotta make sure my master's coronation ceremony is ready. How are you interacting right now? He's kind of been monologuing the whole time. You feel like he could keep going.
I know, I'm letting him monologue a bit.
This is the classic. The villain has fallen for one of the villain has fallen for one of the classic blunders. Only less, or the biggest one of which is never getting a land war in Asia. But only slightly less well known is never interrupt a villain when they're monologuing.
Yeah, he's talking like there's a prize at the end or something.
And as he continues to sink, do you respond?
I'm trying to decide if I want to just go for the extreme sass or not.
Hey.
Screw it. He's trapped
you
at.
can
He's
certainly
trapped
try.
at. He's trapped in this dream either way. I draw one of my collie sticks, and I would just play whack-a-mole with him.
Nice. Okay, go ahead and make an attack roll. I'm going to be rolling against body for him.
All right, which of my dice do I want to use for this? I'll use this.
He should be at he should be double roll take the lower because he is restrained.
That's true. Thank you for that. See, this is what I love about the engine is that you can take collaborative notes like that and apply it to the fiction. So that was one. We'll take the lower one. Okay.
I know what that means.
Shut up. Shut up. We have a tradition here that I started and I wish I never had. Whenever a person gets a crit, they take a picture and send it to chat for proof. Gosh dang it. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Okay, so here's the deal. What's your total number?
My total number is... Well, I guess it depends on what stat I'm using for it. Technically, I have to use do I Do I technically have to use bronze since I'm
For the collie sticks, it would be bronze.
since I'm playing whack-a-mole with them? Okay, then it would be 12.
12 total.
Yes.
With
For
a
the
crit,
podcast listeners,
yeah,
some of us are sassier about the picture being taken than others.
with the crit you just struck upon this Tauren, how would you like to send him completely out of the dreamscape here?
Well, like I said, this is turned into a game of whack-a-mole. So as the stick comes down upon his head, it just like punts him straight down.
Nice. So it smashes on his skull. He winces, "Gah!" And immediately, as he lets go, he drops as if a millstone has been hung around his ankles and sinks him down as if he's going underwater. But with that, as he does, the cobblestones that broke out of place for him to like summit or come out of the earth immediately tumble back into place. It's as if he was never there, and a breeze blows away any dust or dirt that might have been drawn up as well. You did that, and the vines that were holding him down went into the earth with him. And you know that he's gone. Like you don't sense him anymore. And I'm not even going to make you roll for that. It's just he's not there. What you notice, though, is that upon touching him, those leaves, those vines that wrapped him and pulled him in, they were burning, they were smoking. And that same smoldering spreads. It goes back along the length of each vine. And what you don't notice is that a handful of those, not all of them, a handful of those vines grew from the soil of the tree. And as that burning creeps and creeps faster and faster until it touches the soil, the minute that burning vine, the burning along the vine touches the soil, you hear in chorus 1,000 voices screaming. And then you wake up. Ladies and gentlemen at home, this is Aeternal. Now, we're going to jump over to Kirdan for a few minutes. We've given Ophelia a lovely little recap and bringing her back into the action of this dream or nightmare or some kind of communication. She'll have to sit on that. Maybe she'll talk about that tonight. Haydn, where do you think Kirdan has been all night? We talked about the last time we left him off. Why don't you give us a brief recap?
So we left off with him in his office quarters thing that belongs to the vessel of Aemarys. He had found that the monks at the monastery, to try and help accommodate Kirdan, had made alterations to the room and included a fireplace in it. Partially as a show of good faith, but also as a show of we are trying our best to support our vessel who comes from a very coastal region that is probably much warmer than the mountains he now finds himself in.
Very much so.
We'd left off with him sitting on his bed and just kind of pondering everything that had happened that day. For context, he got in a fight with Jericho's dad.
Jericho, the same one who gave his life so that the party could succeed their final battle at the Aemarys Cove, Kirdan's hometown.
But after he'd spent some time there, he probably would have gone to the Barkhollow brewery, spent some time with everyone else there, and probably would have tried to find a place that he and his girlfriend Hazel could have settled down and gone to bed. Whether that's in the brewery or if they went back to his quarters,
that's up to you, my friend. If you feel like one of the things you've observed while you came here, the last two times you were here, tonight and the time before, you'll notice that Jericho has his whole family here on campus. right? They're not.
Mm-hmm.
This might be a monastery, but it's a monastery in the same way that churches are monastic, in that they're kind of not. Upper leadership might be more focused on serving the community, but even they might still have families. From what you've seen, vessels typically don't, but every monk that you have met comes from somewhere, comes from some place. And typically that place is here. And that someone is parents and siblings that love each other and want to be here.
Probably just out of respect and unsure of who I'm actually allowed to bring back into those quarters or not. He probably would have gotten a room at the Barkhollow Brewery and Inn and spent the night there just while he's trying to figure things out.
So you pass along whatever silver that you might need to spend the night here. And across the table, you see an older Mossfoot woman who looks like she could be related to Ophelia, but is definitely not her mom. Like, you've seen her mother and her father together.
Mm-hmm.
So you take it this might be one of the aunties that she's talked about, that Ophelia's mentioned. Right, dearie, and there's just the one room for the two of you?
Yes, please.
Most excellent, and on top of this will be a slight change of addendum of plan. As you can see over on the cork board, we are posting that we have a cleaning service fee that we've included. It's a new service. It's part of the package of purchasing a room. So the following morning, or whenever you decide to leave, we'll be dropping on that small fee to take care of the cleaning of your room once we're finished here. And Kirdan, go ahead and roll me a smarts. Remind me.
Five.
There's a 5.
A 5.
Go ahead and roll me a. Let's see. Do you recall having stayed here in the past? The last time you were here, did you stay in the brewery?
No, he didn't. He was completely alone. He knew that it would have been perfectly fine for just him to stay in the monastery quarters.
Is that a 5
biggest
total
reason-
then? Oh, sorry.
Yeah. I rolled a 4. I've got +1 to smarts, so 5 total.
Got it.
Kirdan is a very intelligent person. He's not always the smartest, though.
Yeah. With that in mind, she's telling the truth. This is just par for the course. And from what you can tell, I'm not certain that you've... Let's talk about that here, actually. Do you think that you two would have discussed or had the time to discuss the political machinations that the Empire, and King Caius specifically, or at least his office, has inflicted upon the brewery here?
Probably not. I don't know if Kirdan and Ophelia would have had a whole lot of time.
You've been separate, yeah.
Yeah, we kind of split. Yeah, we kind of split off pretty much immediately when we got back into town. So
Yeah. However, due to Kirdan's position in the Aemarys Cove that he had before, and even though it's very far from rule, he is aware of the political ongoings in the Empire, because he had to be.
Yeah, for sure. Now, knowing that you've got your room, you and Hazel are able to go up the stairs. It's kind of an L-shaped staircase. Go forward, hang a left, and you're up at the next flight. Now, these stairs feel a little smaller, and you're fairly certain that this is because they plan to have large folk, what they might culturally call large folk, but it's built for moss feet. It's built for the wee folk.
Yeah.
So
And
as you get up there,
even building with trying to accommodate for bigger people, they still underestimate it.
it doesn't help that the building was crafted centuries ago, and that there's not a whole lot that has been done to keep up with the times, but it's kind of served them because it kind of keeps with that rustic, homey quality to the overall
Right.
construction and feel. Now, as you get to the top, you go down the hall, and you cross to the room on your right. That's what the number on your key says, so you go inside, and it's quaint. It's got a queen-size bed for, if it was a dwarf, it might be really big. So it's nice for you guys to be able to go in and have a larger setup. You know that there is a desk over on the side with, funny enough, a lovely stack of parchment and a unopened bottle of ink, like freshly pressed. There's actually like candle wax that's been drizzled over the top as proof of not having been opened. And there is a freshly carved quill that's been sitting there. You notice that it's, for all intents and purposes, this place is clean. There are there's bits and pieces of dust, around the room here and there. Not perfect, but there might have been some time before this room was sold out. And you and Hazel have the room to yourselves. You have that desk, you have the bed, you have a drawer in that desk with a dozen candles that you guys can use to light your room. The sun is going down. I'm going to kind of time jump a little bit before bed so that you then have the opportunity to kind of describe, or we just jump back to the current moment the next day with Ophelia.
Honestly, the kind of time they spend is probably just catching up with the day. Kirdan explaining what happened with Jericho's dad, and just letting her know, like, there's a lot of tension in their family right now, and they need space, but they also needed, specifically Cairo, needed some kind of release that was a bit healthier than drinking himself to death.
Hazel is sitting on the edge of the bed, hands in her lap, but over time, one hand crosses around her middle and the other one just kind of presses up against her mouth, and she just stares at you nodding. As if this is commonplace and there's just nothing else that needs to be said.
Right, and like Kirdan notices that, and he just responds with, "Don't worry, I didn't get hurt. I didn't hurt him."
I'm kind of more concerned that you might have done some work on him. He's okay?
He's completely fine. I was not attacking back in any way to do any harm. I was just trying to restrain him and get him to calm down.
Because you're his vessel. Like, yeah. You replaced the vessel from before, but he's in your school. Your school is his.
Yeah. He's been in it a lot longer than I have, but...
Was that weird?
A little bit, but at the same time, I
mean, outside of the fact that he was trying to beat you to death, but...
Yeah, but at the same time, unlike him and anyone else in the school, or most likely unlike them, I've actually communicated with Haydn, and I think I know what direction the school needs to go, but I still need to figure that out.
So are you staying here? Are you not going to go with your friends?
I don't know.
She looks past your shoulder at the door to make sure it's closed. It's closed.
There's a lot to figure out, and this is the problem. As a vessel, yes, my duty is to the stronghold here, but it's also to the world. And the enemy that we faced back home isn't stopping.
You mean the demigods?
The one that we faced back there is maybe a tier above. He was old enemy. He was an old enemy, but he was beaten by the 3 demigods of the stronghold here before. But he's coming back with a vengeance.
And there's still... I don't know what's going on. Me and Nyx were underground. You were there. The orcs, the Orkin showed up. The Scaladrin that were infected. There's a lot that's happening here, and I want to say that I can keep looking into it, but I'm just one girl in a real big world.
And Kirdan will move over and just wrap her hands in his, and he'll just tell like, I know. And until a few months ago, I thought I was just a guy in this crazy world. And I was just happy to spend time with you and just live. And unfortunately, duty calls at the worst times.
Doesn't it, though? You know, I'm tired, but I am glad that I get to conk out next to you.
Same.
And she like intentionally throws her head back and starts snoring out loud, throws herself back on the bed and shoves you at the same time. If you resist, you'd have to roll a strength throw. No, I'm just kidding.
No, he pulls himself in and wraps his arms around her, and then just says simply like, well, it might not be as, at least right now, it might not be as comfy as either of our homes. But it's comfy enough for now.
She's like getting kind of picky with the mattress once you say that. She didn't care at all at first, but now she's like, yeah, there's this lump right here that just, maybe we should leave.
And he'll just go, that's my arm.
Oh, yeah, that'll do. Okay. She'll nuzzle in and she like leans over, buries her face in your neck, and just starts breathing you in and just enjoying being in your presence, being entwined in your essence, and trying for all the world to allow her soul even to come to rest alongside yours, even though your bodies keep you and your spirits separate. She wants for all the world to just be bound to you, and you know that. As you stroke her head, as sleep comes heavy over your eyes.
We've gone through a lot in the last,
It's been a long
months.
time. Now, I'm going to do what I always do. Go ahead and make me a will roll.
Ooh, I'm good at those. That is a 13 total.
This is the die you were rolling against.
Oh, gosh.
Your next conscious thought it's dark. A cloudless night. The moon has waned to darkness. There's a soft, ice-cold breeze that turns what you would normally keep as your disguise of self, that cloud cover that you constantly generate to keep your face covered. It's drifting flurries. And you feel the bite of cold. You're accustomed to cold. This is something supernaturally cold. As you look out over a massive lake, and on the far side of that lake are 3 mountain peaks, whose ridges, the ridges between each of the peaks, comes and almost partitions each side of this lake away from whatever else is on the side. You know this place.
This is Aemarys Lake, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. As you gaze out into the middle of the lake, go ahead and make me a senses or aware, depending on how you want to theme this.
I'm gonna theme it with senses, even though aware is better. I feel like
That's great.
I feel like what we're going for here, that serves a little better.
Yeah. And while
That is a
you're rolling,
12.
12. You got 12 of them. Is that a crit?
Indeed. No,
Okay.
it's close, but not quite.
As you are You know what? Let me see what happens here. Meets it, beats it. You're able to the breeze dies. You gaze out to the middle of the lake, and as you do, you see a single burst, like a massive bubble of air came out from the middle of the lake. Another one closer to you. Just bursts, splash of water, ripples. Another one even closer. Until you start to notice that the surface of the water has begun to swell and burgeon from something massive underneath it. And suddenly, a cascade of water begins descending, exploding, surging off of the back, off of the face of a massive, there's no way for me to describe, absolutely mind-numbingly massive tortoise. And it's just the head. The head itself is rising from the water, and it seems like that's the only part of it that can come out of the entire lake. The rest of her body is simply too big. And as her head crests above the water and arches back up and looks down upon you, you are being showered upon, now by what was once warm geothermal lake water, and is now turning into snow as it falls through the frigid air.
Just had to give it just enough change in nature that I can't just absorb it and be like, okay, we're good.
Yep. How do you respond to this display? You know who this is. This is the source of your power.
So I respond not in the typical way that Kirdan would, which would be to bow and show deference, but instead he just stands there watching as it happens and smiles. For those listening at home, Haydn is the turtle of stoicism. Kirdan, for a while, was very stoic when he was first introduced, and then was torn apart at home. He was not very stoic. But he's also still trying to balance that. He was told directly that he was chosen because Haydn knew he would be more impulsive than the typical vessels would be. But he needs balance, and this is kind of his way of showing that.
Yeah. The massive snout of this tortoise comes down looming and comes so close you could reach out and touch. The head has slightly turned to one side, so that wide periphery vision of hers can now turn to you, and you notice that there is, most animals, when light hits their eye in the dark, there's a flicker across the pupil, but that's not what draws your attention. Not only is this eye absolutely massive, probably a football field away from the snout as you can now reach out and touch, you can tell even from here that there is this flickering emerald green energy, and occasionally punctured and punctuated by blue, to the point where it feels like dancing teal holographic light in the iris.
Kind of like crashing waves.
Then you hear in your mind, "Welcome home." Two different homes now, though.
Yeah. I'll definitely need to work to... It'll be hard work to get this place to feel like home, but I'm sure it will with time.
I chose you for the work you were willing to do, even when you didn't know it. The work to reconcile two opposing forces. the ocean and the storm. They feed each other, and yet so many in this world believe that they are at odds, that they are separate, and yet with everything, they are connected. What gives life to one is often spurned by the sacrifice of the other, by the gift of the other. The same water that churns in my oceans rises to the clouds and the sky to descend upon the farms on the coastlands and mountains. Mountains even as this. The rivers pull the nutrients from the mountaintops of those beings and life forms that have died and decayed, and brings those nutrients back to the ocean to feed my army. And in an instant, you see that army. You see the tiniest microbes feeding on microscopic fuel, that same decayed matter. You see krill eating those. You see silverfish snapping on top of those. It's the circle of life that just keeps on going and growing. It's this web of interconnected predation and... what's the opposite of predator? Prey? Preying. Being together and feeding off of each other, a give and take. And in all of this, Kirdan, the world maintains its balance. The world keeps its stoicism.
Even
You
with one
are the
trying
one
to
I
destroy it.
trust.
Even with one trying to destroy it. An ancient enemy coming back to, well, get revenge.
The way that me and my brothers, my siblings, were able to overcome was by virtue of working together. And there will come a time when you will need to help others unify, not under my banner, but under the banner of that which is good and great and best of all. I serve and seek to serve the good. But I have my limits, Kirdan. I can only work from the ocean. Where you are going and where you might go, I will be close, but only insofar as those sources of water connect to the ocean.
Then I'll be careful.
She nods approvingly, and she understands that you have taken her warning. Go ahead.
I've realized that while I hadn't awakened as a vessel for most of my life, I think there was a reason why I was picked to be Storm Rod and then Lightning Rod in the Aemarys Cove, and it's because I had a natural draw to the ocean. I realize now that that was you. Not just trying to reach out to me, but also keeping me safe on those voyages.
The tortoise head rears. You feel the wind surge around you from just the size of this thing. It pulls the air as much as it pulls its own head back. And as it rears up, it descends back down again with more force. But you see that there is, across her scales and between the scales, there is a surge of energy starting from the snout that goes back along her face. And as that surges, those scales shrink down and shrink down. You know she's getting closer, but you also know that she's shrinking until what you see standing before you, the form has entirely changed, and it's glowing, and the glow seems to subside and reveals a beautiful woman in sea green robes, stepping towards you, completely unaffected by the cold. She pulls her hair across her front, and that's pretty much the only sign she might have given that it's cold outside, but she holds on to her hair up front and reaches out to you to proffer her hand and see how you might respond to her.
Is there a specific way that she proffers it?
Just gesturing like, take my hand, kind of a thing. Kind of a matronly, I'm the queen here kind of a thing. How might you show deference to her?
As she does that, Kirdan, in the same motion as he reaches to take her hand, in that grip, the kind of sideways, so her fingers
Kind of carrying the
lay in
hand
front.
in yours.
A little bit, but he kind of in the knightly fashion goes down onto his left knee with his right foot still planted on the ground, and bows his head to her and just says, "Thank you for preparing me for this. I know there's more to go, but thank you for what has happened so far."
You feel her other hand tracing underneath yours and grabbing it and lifting you to standing again. You're taller than her. That's the other thing. I think that in the human form, she is a little shorter than you. And you look again. There's almost like a familial. It's not her. It's not. And there's no. That's weird. But like, there's almost like a familial, matronly look of Hazel. And for all the world, you assume that that's just because she's trying to create something that looks familiar and feels good to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and roll me awareness. You're taking a picture, you brat.
I'm doing nothing of the sort. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
14 total. And yes, I did
Jeez,
take a
all right.
picture. Podcast listeners, remember what I said about some of us being sassier than others?
I hate you. All right. I love you. Please keep going. You are lifted up to standing. You're looking her in the eye. She is shorter than you. You're amused by that. You notice the familiarity of Hazel. And then she looks with concern in your eyes. That same blue-green glitter almost at this scale behind her irises. It's still just flowing. There's no light outside, so what could it reflect on except for her own power? And you see concern flicker across her face. Do what you can to keep them united. And I'm not just talking about your party. Wherever you go, make sure level heads went out. And before you can respond to that, concern continues to flicker across her face, and then you sense it too, because she senses it. She looks off with your 14 against the 1. You sense there has been a flicker of darkness that she has just been made aware of. I'm going to roll one more time because you're rolling awareness and because you're connected to her. It was a 14. She rolled an 18. But the way that this works, because you're a vessel, a lot of what you do with her is vulnerable. You can sense her intentions if she's unguarded. And for you, a stoic doesn't need to pretend to emotion. She's free with it.
Mm-hmm.
But she does have the veneer of someone who is unbothered. And yet, in sensing what it is that has happened, you know for a fact she is furious. And to feel the fury of a god welling within your chest, I wonder how Kirdan might respond to that.
So, I assume she's still holding on to his right hand.
Yep.
He, seeing her fury welling up and realizing what's about to happen, forces the channel of it through his left hand as the lightning appears. And he sits there keeping it under control, but still letting it flow the way that it needs to, and just responds with, "My lady, must I go to fight?"
She's still looking off. He's not here for us. And the one he's targeted has done well enough on her own.
And at those words, the lightning subsides.
You see her start to giggle to herself. Oh. Your friend is amusing. She's looking off as if she's watching the event happening right before her, but like, you see nothing, and you have no context except that it's your friend. Is this Hazel? Like, was Hazel just attacked?
No, the immediate the immediate thought at "your friend is amusing" is, oh, that could only be Ophelia. There are words that he immediately thinks of that would describe party members, right? The Firestorm is either brutal or straight up funny.
Yep.
But amusing is one of those descriptors for Ophelia, because she's not necessarily funny, because she's not super verbose, but she is very amusing, which is almost just as much as being funny. And so he's sitting here thinking about it, and he's like, what could she have done to some dark force that's amusing? Probably wrapped him in vines. That seems to be her MO. He does not think of the collie stick at all, though, because he's seen her bash someone with it all of like 2 times. But he has seen her use vines a lot.
Right. And in that much, she calms and takes that cleansing breath. I must go. And for sake of clarity, I did wake you and bring you here myself. I apologize for that, but I did need to speak with you more directly. This is not a dream.
Oh.
And I think you might know that. You feel another breeze return to you as her massive form has dissipated down to this distilled, small, pinpoint version of her. And you are getting there. I'm not sure how you want to flavor that, because you are technically a storm wisp, but where it is this cold on the top of a mountain, with a geothermal vent, sure, underneath each of the lakes, but that's about all the heat that's here.
Mm-hmm. At her mention of "this is not a dream, I actually pulled you here," Kirdan, his mind immediately goes to, oh, no wonder it actually feels cold. It's not just the simulated cold of a vision that has happened before.
Right.
But then feeling that breeze go by one more time, he tries to connect to the weather, as he is so naturally done at his home. But he's, because it was so natural for him there, he's forgetting his training on that, as he tries to do it in a new place. But because of Akiren and her calming presence, it grounds him in a way that he remembers it a lot easier than he would have otherwise. Starts to recognize the patterns.
Roll me awareness.
That is a 12.
12.
I am rolling hot tonight.
Mm-hmm. Akiden looks past your shoulder. Looks to you. My brother is here.
Which one?
She gestures with her chin past you. As you turn, if you would like to turn, or if you want to say anything else, you can.
He probably just turns.
You look, you let go of Akiden and look at a man dressed in silver. The dark brown cloak. Standing over the next rise. And really, it's kind of it's almost as if the gods designed it this way. The demigods built this little ridge of hillock and forestry to give a little privacy to those that might come to seek solace or instruction at the shores of the demigods. But upon that ridge, nonetheless, from amidst the trees, Mehegemet stands in his human form. His eyes glinting brightly, even though there are no sources of light on this moonless night. You brought my next vessel here. And with that, with your 12, you recognize the wind that you've been feeling. Of course you're going to sense the wind, because who controls the wind? And as you stand before the presence of Mehegemet, now I need to ask, do you remain stoic, or do you proffer respect to the demigod of indomitability and will?
Due to prior interactions, there's a brief moment of stoicism. Just not quite standing my ground, but kind of the same thing with Akiden when she first arrives. Just standing there, staring, the brief smile, and then after about 5 seconds, a deep bow, just to pay respects to him.
Mm-hmm. He looks past you at his sister. You're raising him well. Well, I'd say he's one of the easier ones to raise, if that's what you want to call it. Have you heard from Delavar recently? No. That's what you and I need to discuss. I'll be at my lake. And another breeze comes, and as soon as the breeze hits your back, go ahead and make a brawn.
Well, that's fun.
What happened?
It's another 12.
Dude, stop.
And that's why it's another 12. You'll see in a second.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You are successful in resisting the shivers that would have otherwise completely overtaken you. And as you maintain your focus, the wind touches Mehegemet's robes. And as the robes lift up and away, it reveals the silvery gi. Contrary to his sister, he wears a gi and has chosen to wear one in this human form. But you only see it for a split second before that form entirely dissipates like steam on a mountain lake. And what do you do next? What do you want to do next?
Hearing Akiden and Mehegemet ask if either had heard from Delavar, Kirdan, knowing that she already knows, does proffer. While it probably doesn't help because it was a month and a half ago, when I pulled Vaden from the depths of the Cove, I did hear Delavar speak. It was very threatening. It was very demanding.
What did he tell you?
When I came out, I called out to him, to anyone that would listen, saying that I have rescued and made safe the vessel of Delavar, and he responded with, bring him to the stronghold. He wanted Vaden here. But there was nothing
Bringing
more
up
than
a
that.
new vessel is costly for us. We have a symbiotic relationship with every vessel that we've ever known, that we've ever called. And it's why it's so important to have our vessels on hand and to have a new vessel already selected. Kirdan, choose smarts or awareness and make a roll.
I'm going to go for awareness on this one.
That's great.
I think that serves me better. That's a 9.
9. There's some subtext in there. And you clocked it. She mentioned it. She said it. There's a reason why they always like to identify the next vessel. She said it again. It's costly for us to bring on a new vessel. That's why it's so easy to predict who the next one's going to be, because they technically have the next one already being prepared under their hand. Why would it be that Delavar demands that Vaden comes back to the stronghold?
Delavar
Why
doesn't
would
have
he be
another-
that threatening?
Delavar doesn't have another vessel.
I need to go. Take your leave. We'll speak again.
Okay.
And with a gentle bow of the head, her body,
And one returned from Kirdan.
her body splashes down into a puddle of water, splatters across the ground. The water runs gently through the gravel and sand of this mountain lake back to the ocean that is this just massive lake up here. Delavar doesn't have another vessel.
And vessels are chosen at birth, if I remember the lore correctly. Maybe awaken later, but they are chosen at birth. So yeah, Kirdan's got a lot to think about.
Let's jump forward. With the last 30 minutes of playtime, do we need a break? Does anyone need to use the restroom, grab water, grab a snack?
I'm good to go.
Okay.
With that, Kirdan, before we do the jump forward, Kirdan sitting there processing everything is going to do something very unstoic after trying to be more in tune with that. Knowing that he could cross the distance quickly on foot anyway, he doesn't care. He just wants to get back to sorry. He just wants to get back to his bed, partially because he's not used to the cold. And so he looks towards the city, determines about where he needs to point himself to get right as close to the doorstep of the Barkhollow Brewery as he can, and he then lightning jumps over.
So
And
just for
quickly runs
clarification,
inside.
Where is he going making that jump? Just back to the brewery?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if I remember correctly, the lakes are higher than the stronghold itself, enough so that you can probably see the monastery peeking out in the trees.
You can see there's actually, the way it's designed, the monastery, the one top corner is shaped kind of like a square, but that top corner bursts into one of the taller peaks, actually, before you get to the Three Sisters Lakes. And because of that, that one mountain that it kind of burrows into is the start of another chain of mountains that goes off, rounding off into the east. The Three Sisters actually runs from northwest to southeast, but the range that connects the library and the monastery together actually goes to the far side and creates that border wall of the Delavar Lake of the Three Sisters Lakes.
Okay.
So you can definitely see the tip of that first little peak of that chain, which just having passed by it a couple dozen times already. Go zap there. You'll wind up in the monastery. You'll have to slide down the hill to get there, but you'll wind up there.
So he actually, yeah, I probably wouldn't be able to zap through the trees very well since I'm not as familiar with the path.
Right.
But he's confident in what he can do. So yeah, he zaps over to that peak and.
Why don't you make a roll for me? How do you want to flavor this?
Like getting down from there?
Yeah.
Oh, it's definitely going to be Grace getting down from there.
Okay, go for it.
Oh gosh, you're about to Minecraft glitch.
No, I'm about to Skyrim glitch.
Oh no.
And that's why. That's a 14. A crit, one might say. It's what, 3 tonight?
As you happen, I know the quality of video isn't super great, but you can tell that I got a 1 on the
Juan.
and the way that this works, where this is a little more challenging than what other rolls might be, you still got a crit. You more than triple the necessary number to get the crit here. So you basically triple crit. You are a boss. You zip through these trees instantaneously. You zip down through them and then up to the peak of this mountain, and then materialize with a boom of thunder.
As I sit there and start sliding down, I'm like, I did not mean to make that much noise.
Cause and effect, buddy.
No, I'm well aware, but it's just one of those, like, I hope I did not wake anyone else up. But you know what? Oh well.
You go back. You find your way into the. Are you going on the outside of the wall of the monastery or interior?
Probably the outside, because it'd probably be easier to find solid footing after sliding down a mountain doing that.
That's great.
Oh, goodness, excuse me.
You're able to land on the ground. You cross the courtyard. You quietly enter the front door of the inn. The quiet here is warm. It's gentle. It's tense. Scared, even. But the warmth of home is something that's so difficult to erase, especially from a place as long-lived as the Barkhollow Brewery. So, you make your way back up the stairs, go to your room. Hazel has not stirred at all. And I imagine that her being her, she worries about you deeply, but the traveling days have been long and difficult for her. So?
Seeing that she hasn't stirred, Kirdan will let out, just like as he's been sneaking through, trying not to make any noise. After closing the door gently, seeing her not having stirred, he'll actually let out his breath because he'd been unintentionally holding it. Just.
We're going to leave it at that before we transition ahead to the next morning as Ophelia bursts awake. Now, Kirdan, at this point, do you think that you would have woken up earlier than her or would have woken later than Ophelia?
I think it is entirely dependent on when Hazel would wake up, because Kirdan's probably tired enough that he could sleep through almost anything, except his girlfriend waking him up.
Yes.
Especially given that the one time he was probably going to get some restful sleep in like actually months. Because even the 2 weeks in the Cove after the incidents, like it was still a stressful couple weeks.
Right. Let's do this.
He's like, I can finally sleep through the whole night, and then Akiran wakes him up to talk.
Yeah. Let's do this then. We're going to jump back to Ophelia. How far ahead do you want to jump for the morning? I'm planning on having you guys downstairs to coordinate what your next steps are.
Ophelia's waking up before dawn.
Okay.
Like, pretty much, when she wakes up from that nightmare, she's up and out of bed specifically. Bolts out of her room as quietly as possible when one is bolting out of the room.
Yes.
Goes downstairs. Goes into the kitchen. Goes down another flight of stairs. To the base of the tree.
Now, it's funny because the tree is built into that hexagonal shape that conjoins the brewery/inn and the two other wings of this building, which is reserved for your family. And I would imagine that you're on, like, maybe not the third story, maybe the second or first. You're a little closer to the ground level. The families, the dynasty, the elders, they're on the ground floor, and then it kind of proceeds upward. The youngest is on the top floor because they have the spry legs to do it. So you kind of hustle down the stairs. You go flying past Kirdan's door. He couldn't be bothered. The dude is out. You barrel down through the kitchen, down those stairs, and as you get there, you see the tree. It is lush, green. The room is humid. The vents on top, which are typically good for summer to let that extra humidity out and to give some freshness to this area, not necessary. The cool air from outside helps kind of temper the thickness and heaviness of the humidity, even from inside the terrarium here, the greenhouse, excuse me. And it's you and the tree. The tree's fronds wave in your direction as if reaching out for an embrace.
I'm going to go over to the tree and just kind of lean against it, put my forehead against the bark, because I just had a rather catastrophic dream of it being on fire, and so there's just kind of a sense of relief of, okay, it has not burst into flames, there is no screaming, we are good.
Now, even as you approach the trunk of the tree, you have to lift yourself up above the little garden brick wall that you've kind of used.
Oh yeah, I hop over it. I just hop over it. I've been doing that for years.
Yeah. And you walk by, the fronds brush and caress your face gently as you go by. It's almost like welcome home. You feel it as it touches you. It's not even a whisper in your ear, it's a memory. Whispers that are so intimate to you they could only come from a place of memory that each say as they touch you, welcome, 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 welcome home, welcome home. As the branches rustle around you, you can hear it. Not with your ears, but with your heart and soul. You press your forehead against the tree, doing all that you can to keep yourself composed. You feel the fronds of the tree enwrap and stroke down your shoulders and back as if trying to soothe you. Right, lass. If there is something that you have to discuss with us, then you might as well get it out. And the voice coming from behind you, you recognize as one Bartholomew Barkhollow.
Of course. That was the other thing that actually, I was hoping that my being down here would get your attention.
Well, you go off for about, I don't know, far too long and you decide to show up here and do not but come and give a tree a hug.
Yeah, coming back, things got immediately weird very fast. So I couldn't get here as fast as I would have liked to.
You know, I think I might like to get your friends down here. Hold on.
Wait, is that loud?
No, I've already taken care of it. And all he did was like look up and over his shoulder. Kirdan,
And
go ahead,
sorry.
go ahead.
I was like, Ophelia's plain old bewildered by the notion of anyone who's not immediate family being down here, because as far as she was ever aware, that's not actually allowed.
We'll see. Kirdan, go ahead and roll me senses and aware. So 2 different rolls. Tell me the lower one. Pick which one is which. Call the first one out as one or the other.
So on aware, I rolled a 5, which plus 4 is 9. And on the senses, I rolled a 9 plus 3 is 12.
Okay. You are... Sorry. Your senses don't clock this. But in the same familiarity that you had as Hazel nestled her face into the crook of your neck before falling asleep next to you, the familiarity of a soul seeking to intertwine with another, you feel a distance. Subconsciously. Internally. Not something you hear or see. You're too far deep into your sleep for that. But there's something, a growing distance. What you don't see is Hazel has sat up in bed, sees that it's not quite dawn, but she's suddenly wide awake. And she wants to go down to the brewery. So she carefully crawls over the top of you and walks out the door, closes the door, kind of pads her way up the hall, down the stairs.
She's attuned to trees. I totally forgot. This makes perfect sense.
And as she continues to go down, she feels a draw. So, Ophelia, when you see Hazel, not a vessel, and not even the Firestorm, someone who you would be guaranteed to piss some people off, because this is the ancestral tree. Trees do what best with fire? Burn. You see Hazel.
Morning.
Did I make a wrong turn? I'm sorry. I felt like I should come. I felt like I should come down here. Is that okay?
Ophelia's gonna look from her to Bartholomew. Is this okay?
Well,
I mean, you
don't
tell
know
me
what
you're the
checking
one
with me
who...
for. I did call her technically, so. And Hazel,
if you weren't
go
a
ahead
spirit, I would thump you.
if you want, go ahead and roll aware. This is more for empathy's sake.
That is a 9 total.
You beat her by 1. Hazel barely manages to mask for a moment. Just after she has looked at you, turning behind your back, looking at nothing and conversating with nothing before she has this face on when you turn back around. Sorry.
It's a very long story that I'm not entirely certain yet I'm actually going to have time to go into. But for all intents and purposes, yeah, you're allowed to be here.
Great.
You know, yeah, honestly, we're not who I was expecting, but...
You know, lass, I did call her down here to get someone else's attention. She's certainly welcome, but just to make sure that your friends, all of whom do not seem to be here, let's get them all round up, shall we?
All
Are you
right.
talking to the other thing again?
Yeah, so, short version, I can occasionally sometimes see spirits. Specifically the spirits of my ancestors. It's a whole entire thing that I barely understand myself how it actually works.
Okay.
But yeah, there's
a me here.
Well, they wanted you to bring Kirdan down here,
Oh, okay. Oh. Okay. I will be right back. Anything else?
Anything else?
Well, maybe a little bit of morning tart and a nice cup of coffee would do.
You've been dead for how many centuries? Can you even actually eat?
As he's laughing at you, you're asking the question aloud. So Hazel's just so concerned. Is he teasing you right now?
He does it quite regularly. It's a pastime for him.
This is so weird. I'm going to go get my guys. And then she turns around, and not only that, but she like kind of gathers that she needs to gather all the folks. So she brings in Firestorm, brings in Kirdan, wakes him gently, kisses him on the forehead, kind of shakes his shoulders, strokes his face, all the little things that need to happen.
He doesn't want to get up, and he's barely listening to her as she's saying that
Hey,
Ophelia's calling. He actively like tries to pull her back into bed to cuddle.
No. Kirdan. Your work wife wants to talk to you. Get up. It's time for work. I know you don't want to. You gotta get the day started. Trust me, I wish I could stay here too, but it sounds like they want us all down there, okay?
He'll sit up and just like, can I get one night of sleep without things being interrupted? And he'll stand up. I wonder if Hazel would clock what he means by that.
She thinks that you're just talking about the right here and the right now. So, you guys come back downstairs. Firestorm trounces down. And honestly, he's being tailed by your dad, Ophelia. No, hold on. This is not the place where... Oh, hello, honey bunch.
Morning, Dad. It's all right. Best I can figure is it might be demigod business.
Might be demigod business, and yet we've never had this kind of intersection to be met here in the middle of our sanctuary.
Yeah, don't blame me.
So who's to blame for that? Just a figment of your imagination, an inkling, a fiddle fart that comes out from a bad piece of meat?
Great. I don't know how many greats. Granddad, Bartholomew.
Roll senses.
I will say this, as Kirdan comes in, this is like the first time probably that Ophelia has seen him like this, but he, like, eyes are like drooped down because he's still tired. Like it's the first time he's actually like let himself be tired.
Hazel's like actively
hunched
scratching
over
your back, trying to wake you up.
He's just like hunched over, eyes like drooping, just like.
What is that result?
What did you say? Senses?
Senses, yes.
That would be a 9.
Your dad hears what you're describing about being conversed with ancestors, and his mouth snaps shut.
It is a very long story that I promise I will tell you at some point.
I don't need to hear it, lass. And he shuffles his way over with his his rabbit hide night slippers. He just shuffles across the ground like a 60-something-year-old would on a cold morning with a bathrobe on. Takes you in both hands by your shoulders, looks you square in the eyes. Just know that your dad's proud of you.
Thank you.
Now you take care of this one, all right? And he like points to the rest of you and like Firestorm's like, okay. And Hazel's like, will do. Kirdan, say something. And if he's not here, that's fine. Oh yeah, he is here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, I'll be upstairs. Got to get the morning rush ready to go. And he clump, 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 clump back upstairs with his bunny hide slippers. Now, you all stand here. Ophelia, you've gathered everybody. Everyone's looking at you now. That's when Firestorm jumps in. Right, so where are we going? We've been here for a whole day. We haven't talked about where we're going, but we need to be going. I just got word from the one guy, the other Stonebrow, and he's telling me that there's a lot going down in my hometown. I'd like to move over that way if that's all right with everyone.
I thought your hometown was Kilval, not Kilvor.
No, lad. No, I was working in Kilval to do basically military training when I was trying to be a soldier. You know, protect the realm and all that.
Gotcha. Okay. He's trying his hardest to wake up, but he's just like, it's just that, like, I was tired and I'm still tired and I...
Oh, you miss your little nightcap, did you, lad?
Firestorm, let me level with you. I have not gotten a full night's sleep in four or 5 months.
I mean, I don't know. You have to be pretty deep if you're going to be tooting like you were on the way up here on the road. In your dead sleep, a little bit of a little butt trumpet every now and then is great.
You can be deep in sleep and still not get a full night's sleep.
I mean, that's a very fair point. I had quite the interesting night myself last night. But that's neither here nor there. Potentially.
Oh, hold on, like, no, Hazel cuts in. You can't just say something like that and then summon us here by some mystical ancestor and then say, oh, I had an interesting night, but never mind about that.
Oh, she had
Right,
an
so...
encounter. And Kirdan just, like, totally stealing steam. She had an encounter with the enemy.
Wait, what?
How'd you know that?
Wait, what?
And like, finally he's waking up. Like, oh, I said that. Oh, I totally just stole that from you. I'm sorry.
Okay. First of all, yes. Second of all, how did you know that?
Demigod stuff. Don't worry about it.
Right.
Just breeze over that. It's fine.
He's giving all the hints that he was awake for like an extra hour after he'd already gone to sleep.
How long were you up last night, babe?
Okay. So I went to bed with you, and then probably sometime around, I don't know, I'd guess probably 1 or 2 in the morning, Aeternal pulled me to her lake and had a conversation with me. It wasn't a dream; it was real.
So
I just
that's
appeared
your
at the
work
lake.
wife.
I would not call a demigod a work wife. That's
I would, and I do.
And he'll just like grab her hands. You are the only one that I am that close with in any capacity like that, and I don't intend to have anyone else like that. Technically, I am a part of Aeternal's being. It's kind of...
You were doing really good until you mentioned that. You should just keep going. Do your meeting, do your work meeting about your work wife.
And he'll just wrap his arms around her. I don't have a work wife. You're the only one that's even remotely close to a wife. We're just not quite there yet.
I'm just teasing. I know you're tired. You're normally more fun, so I probably should have known that better. I'm sorry. Let's focus. Okay.
And it's just like, yeah, okay, yeah. Anyway, yeah. Yeah, I don't know exactly what your encounter with him was like last night. I just know that you had one with him. And that you
yeah.
Like, spill the beans there.
Yeah, right. So I had a very peculiar dream last night that do you remember Kirdan, before we left there was a incident with the Tauren. He showed up here, tried to destroy half the town.
The Tauren?
Yeah, and
left a mark in the town square.
Yeah, and Firestorm landed right on top of it and burned it to a crisp, and then I helped clean it up afterwards.
Yeah, that. So in this dream that I had, he was breaking through that spot. That hole had opened up in that spot, and he was trying to come through. And of course, threatening. So, he said something about a coronation. Whatever the blazes that means.
Did he say whose coronation?
No, he said some. Remind me again. Did he? Well, he didn't specify a name. He just said something.
No,
he didn't specify a name. He just said something about.
Out of character, he said his own coronation or his god's coronation. I do remember
Is that okay?
I'm not supposed to because I didn't have the vision, but
yeah, and my short-term memory, is hot garbage. So he said that he's preparing for his master's coronation, and that it was going to be fun. Which anything fun for him is bad for us.
Kirdan all of a sudden like super lucid. He's just okay. So actually, I'm gonna roll a smarts on this, Dale, and I want you to tell me if I recognize what this means, given the information dump that I got last night, and if I can connect the dots on this.
Okay.
Oh, I definitely don't. That's a 2.
Oh, no. The best part is I'm rolling with the D20 on that, my guy. So there was no way in the 9 hells that would have happened. I just being completely honest, but if you had been successful, it would have been very slim chance. But
yeah. So Kirdan, like, he's very lucid for a second. He's just like, okay, I got nothing on that, but that's definitely concerning.
So you're talking about your boss, Kirdan, is telling you that you are what? What did you guys talk about? Because you sensed that she was talking to the bad guy. Why were you talking to the bad guy? That's not important. It is important, but I'll get to you. You, Kirdan, what were you talking about?
So Akiren was talking to me, in essence, just about the line of duty and a word of caution, because where we're going to be going is not going to be safe and potentially far from her power.
Oh, you mean over to my hometown?
There or Brule or any of the other places we could go.
Oh, no, that's right. That's right.
But her power is directly tied to the ocean. So if we have a conduit to it, like a river or something like that that connects to it, I can still connect to her.
Okay, that's good to know. A little safety net, lifeline.
But if that's not present, it's not only a lot harder to connect to her, but I can't channel her power as well. Right. So in essence, I'll be relying a lot more on my lightning that I've had for 20 years. But I still need to be careful.
Okay, so that's you, and your boss says you need to be careful. She's got your back like always, but you basically have, like, she's got weird boundaries or whatever. Okay, whatever, cool.
Realms of power. Yeah.
Okay, great. Ophelia, no disrespect. I need to know. Do you know anything about what he's talking about? A coronation?
I honestly don't know any more than anyone else in this room does.
Roll smarts.
That would be a 7. That would be a 7 because I'm smart. Think that's smart.
As you think about the memory of the Dark Torrent in your mind, as you go back in your memory, you see the vines pulling him down into the ground. You see and hear the words he spoke. You smash him with the Cali stick, and he falls down and gets consumed and hidden again by the cobblestone. And the vines are down there. In your memory, you remember that those vines burnt the tree that is now alive and well. Bartholomew steps out into your view, apparently having stood by the tree the entire time as you looked and rejoined your party on the ground. But he steps out in front of you and starts talking to you in the midst of everyone else. Lass, there's many things in my life that I've pursued in the magical arts, and I'm glad to say that for the most part I've done a pretty good job of mastering certain kinds. And certainly there's the life and the foliage that is going to be a part of my magic and kind of my signature, if you want to call it that. But part of the reason that I like foliage is that it's got roots, it's got branches, and it proliferates everywhere. So, in a manner of speaking, if you wanted to, well, I don't know, connect to, understand more about, or to see a certain Tauren who was enwrapped with vines, and vines happen to be my medium.
Wait, so you're telling me that? So you're telling me, first of all, that whole it was half a dream, half actually happened, and he's down there right now.
Oh no, that part was all your brain trying to make sense of whatever the Dark Tauren was doing to your brain. But for all intents and purposes, when you summon your magic, you summoned me. And I'd like to say too that I'm Kirdan. You and Hazel are essentially watching a one-sided conversation. Firestorm is scratching at his gut, going, "What's going on there?"
Kirdan's just, so that's what that feels like. Because he's had a couple of these too.
Yeah. But lass, what I'm telling you right here and now is that if you wanted to, I could be a bridge between you and the Dark Tauren. However, a bridge goes both ways, I would imagine. I'm not an engineer of sorts, civic or otherwise. But I would imagine all the bridges I've crossed in my life have been able to cross back over. So be very careful with what you decide to do with that information.
Oh yeah, no, I still have memories of looking at Firestorm through my magic, and Belgar didn't appreciate that very much.
Right. So, do with it what you will, lass, but for the time being, I can feel that I'm straining the connection you and I have as is. So, whilst in the presence of the tree, it's been a pleasure. And it's not much of a strain with the tree, but a strain nonetheless. I'm tired. I'm going.
All right, it's good to see you.
You as well, lass. Take care. Dissipates. Right, so there's a lot of one-sided conversations going. I need to know right now, are we going home or aren't we?
So happens that I do actually have business in Kelvar. There's someone I have to go see over there.
Who?
A friend of mine, Jeffrey.
That's right, Jeffrey is in Kael'vor.
Wait, is that... Do I know him? I don't know if I know him. You know, that's wonderful. Let's go see a friend.
I mean, there's still things that I need to do here before we leave, but I could easily do all that within a day.
Oh, like what? Can I help with that at all? If that's okay, Kirdan.
Yeah, that is absolutely fine.
Yeah.
And he'll grab Hazel's leg and just like squeeze next to her knee.
You know.
You actually possibly could help me with one particular thing.
Mm-hmm.
I need to go up to the lakes and because those flowers that grow around the Aemarys Cove, the Wade's Crest.
Yeah.
I took a couple of them to bring back here to plant here.
Oh, you sweetheart. Oh my gosh, we're going right now. We're going to go right now. Kirdan, I got to go. I got to go right.
Can we at least have breakfast first?
Fine.
She says that, and then her stomach growls.
Yeah. Literally, though. That's perfect. Fine. Oh. Sorry. It's loud. Like, she is a lady. She is a girly girl. She can hold her own, too, but she's a girly girl. So when her stomach growls with the same intensity as a small dog, she's thoroughly embarrassed.
Kirdan just laughs a little bit and then pulls on her arms, grabs her by the face, and just kisses her.
Oh. I'm going to go without food more often. And she grabs your lapels and brings you in for another.
And then
Firestorm,
he'll
get a room.
He'll pull her away for a second and say, "We already have
they
one,
have-
but second of all, I don't mean this in a bad way at all. It's going to come across that way, though, and I'm sorry. You are adorable when you're embarrassed." And before she can say anything in response, he will pull her back in for another kiss.
Yep. Okay. If that's the only thing you want to do, we can definitely make that happen, Ophelia. We also have
Ophelia
to do a couple other things. Go ahead.
Ophelia had two primary things on her while in Bergland list.
Yeah. What was the other thing?
The first was go plant the flowers.
Mm-hmm.
The second was go to the monastery to see Nicholas.
Oh,
There
yes.
there was one thing that Kirdan needed to take care of, and that's in essence just make sure that the School of Haydn A is taken care of, and B that they have a direction to go, because he thinks he understands the direction Haydn wants them to go. But another point has been added to the list. Talk to Vaden and see if he is aware of the vessel situation for Delavar.
Okay.
He probably
right now,
is.
Yeah.
But
as of right now, with the time that we have, I need to make sure that we can take another 15 or so.
Yeah,
good
I'm
with
good
that?
for it.
yeah, I'm good.
Okay. And then I have to do a hard stop. And we also have a little bit of a discussion to run afterward, just to facilitate the manual on how we'll handle editing and coordinating what you guys think about it, okay? So it'll be more around 10 minutes that we have. The best thing that I can do right now is bring the party over to the monastery, and then we'll end at the shores of the Three Sisters Lakes. I'll let you decide which lake you'd like to plant those flowers on. However,
Of course, the Haydn one.
there you go. Well, let's jump over to the monastery. After you guys have a warm breakfast to fill your bellies, your dad's prepared a mountain boar sausage, which has his signature spices. Weirdly enough, as far as like the Irish go, a lot of their stuff can be a little bland, a little odd, flavor-wise. For those that live in America, it's a little more bland. But this man has figured out a way to make anything tasty to anyone that comes here. And as he's serving up some mountain boar sausage, he's got flapjacks, he's got hash browns and grits, he's got bacon, there's been tell of this new technology of like a cast iron grill, but it's got little like spikes in them that allow you to pour a batter in, and then as it grows and expands from heat, it presses up into the other half. They're calling it like checkerboard flapjacks, but it's not a name that people would like to use. It's just too complicated. They just say freaking flapjacks, but this isn't a flapjack. It's like tiny bowls of soup for all the syrup you want to pour on there. So they're still arguing about that. However, he's already put in and would love to see one of those in his kitchen someday. That said, you have a feast. And it's all on your dad. Of course it is. You got freaking 1,000 gold here to help him pay off his debt. He's going to be indebted to you for at least that long.
When the meal is finished, though, Kirdan calls him over and goes, "Mr. Barkhollow, thank you so much." And,
oh, absolutely. It's the least I can do to help out my daughter.
Clasps his hand in a handshake with another 10 gold pieces in it.
Right. If you'll excuse me. And he's going to turn around, and you roll a senses. You can do this too, Ophelia, if you want.
11's a good roll.
Ophelia?
Mine was a 12.
Both of you hear muffled cries, sobs, as Ophelia, your dad, is likely crying into the shoulder of your mother. You all pack up. You go across the street, across this pavilion. Children are running around outside. Yes, they're bundled up to the nines. Some of them look more like marshmallows than they do children, but they're still making playtime work.
As we're walking over, I assume Ophelia told Kirdan what's going on over breakfast, just kind of like in hushed tones, like, this is what's going on. And he'll just respond with, I'll see, given my connections in the Cove, I'll see what I can do about getting them some help.
Thank you.
As you're able to go across the street, the double doors of the monastery are wide open. You can see two of the eldest members of the school of Management are out there. Erica and her mother. They're fighting with both staffs. And to some degree, they're using a little bit. They can't draw nearly as much elemental power as can a vessel, but you almost see the swirls of wind as the bow staffs are clacking against one another, and as they are evading one another with spine-arching dodges and quick whips around, and it's like they're floating and dancing at the same time. And then occasionally there's a burst and a strike with a fist that they barely manage to evade. Some of them land, some of them don't. Some kicks land and some go wide. It's an art form, and it's lethal at the same time, and yet perfectly balanced and perfectly practiced. They almost seem not to notice you as you wend your way around the interior perimeter of the wall. This wall is built as a fortress, right? It keeps this place sacred and apart from the rest. You almost feel there isn't really a magical incantation that separates the noise of the outside play of the children and the interior sacred space of this quarter, right? But it feels that way. It feels that way, that the sound kind of refracts and goes away from this place in a way that feels supernatural, but you know it's been engineered that way. One of the first doors, too, as you turn to the left and go away from the door and up to the next corner, is actually the office of, actually no, it's going to be a hallway. So you go up to about midway on that northwest wall, and about midway there is an entrance. Take that entrance, and then there's a hallway that leads to a series of rooms that you know are the offices of the vessels. And at the tail end, I believe, that is going to be reserved for one Nicholas. The one just before you is the one of Haydn. Excuse me. What would you guys like to do?
Can I tell that Haydn is in his office?
You can go ahead and knock.
Okay. Yeah.
So
I'll. But before knocking, I'll probably look to everyone. I'll look to Ophelia specifically and say, Nicholas probably wants to see you if he's in his office.
Right. So you're okay if I go over there then?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll meet you back here in a little bit.
Okay. And then he'll turn around and knock on Vaden's door.
Do you want me to stick around with you too?
I think that should be fine, yeah.
Okay.
If he asks that you go, I can't do anything about that, but...
Yeah, no, I get it. Cool, yeah.
Worst case scenario, my office
I need to know if I need to hang on your arm and give some eye candy or make you look good, or... There's a
You
couple
don't need to do any
avenues.
of that. If he does need you to
Okay.
go, though, my office is just the next one over there.
Cool. I get
I'll
to
come get you when we're done.
bust into a vessel's office. That's great. Awesome. It's not going to look bad at all. So, should we knock again?
He's probably not here. He's probably at his home. He doesn't seem to be someone who wouldn't answer the first knock.
Yeah. Okay. Unless he's dead. Sorry, that's a really bad joke. That was really bad. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
With
I'm
very
really
few-
stressed
with-
right now. I don't know if you can see that's these are some big wigs, and I'm a freaking coast girl. The fanciest people I talk to are the sailors that come in. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Okay.
I get it.
He's
Am I
not
right in
here.
my observation that he wouldn't be someone to not answer a knock unless he's incredibly busy?
You can try the knob if you wanted to, but at this point it's like,
It's incredibly likely he's not there.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, it's fine. Why don't we go see if Nicholas is here with Ophelia? I think you remember him.
You're not the only one that's tired. Jeez, let's go. And so let's jump over to Ophelia. Ophelia, you knock.
Mm-hmm.
You hear someone shuffling around. You hear like a metal cup that just hit the ground and is now rolling across the ground, the boards. Some tiny feet. Come on. Oh, hold on. Stupid lock. Feely.
Hey, is this about time?
And he tackles you. Just wraps you up around the middle and just buries his face in your stomach. And you... It's hard for me to get into character for a kid. There's glee here. There is so much loneliness that transitions into joy. And he doesn't have words because the thing that comes out of his voice box is wailing sobs that seem like laughter.
Mhm.
And finally, he pulls himself away from you long enough to just get that nasty gunk out of his nose. I'm so sorry. I'm so excited. You're here. You're here.
Hey,
You're here.
I reach up and I take his face. Hey, you've nothing to apologize for. That's right. Breathe. I missed you too.
Okay, so come in. Come here. He grabs her wrist without any further warning and yanks you like bodily out of the room. This is about the time that Kirdan and Hazel both arrive and kind of invite themselves in after stopping at the threshold a moment. Okay. Feely.
I just see Ophelia like disappear into the door. It's like, yep,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
So, Feely, come here. Sit. And he like shoves you down into a chair in the corner. Ophelia, the last time you were in this room, Jericho was here.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that's just breezed over by the fact that this kid is now in full possession of everything that's here. And it's like, he sits you down, puts his hands on both your knees and leans in. Ophelia, I hear dead people.
Kirdan walks in as he hears that, just like,
Uh,
okay, Nicholas.
I see them, so I can kind of understand a little bit how that feels, but also go on.
I hear Jericho still talking to me, still teaching me. He doesn't teach a whole lot because he's doing stuff on the other side, and that's important, and that's all great and all well and dandy. But Vaden said this morning that he was going to teach me some stuff, but he had to go out into the forest to gather some things to help train. I think he wants me to learn from the ladies that are out there. That was scary. They were beating each other up. That was it was cool, but it was also kind of scary.
So Kirdan hearing that will actually kneel down next to him, just like the one knee on the ground, and we'll just go, well, those ladies are probably the best people to teach you, because guess what? It's Jericho's mom and his older sister.
Oh, that's why he's trying to get me to work with them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Has Nicholas even recognized who I am yet?
Like, there's a part of him that has kind of burned out all of that excitement on Ophelia. So it's more of like,
That's
once
fair.
he sees you, he's like, what's up? And then he's like back to like doing whatever. He does recognize you.
Okay.
There's more warmth than I would give it credence for just then, but
Yeah.
he's kind of, all that anxiety has been kind of spent on her. Before he finally lets go of her knees and kind of stands up straight. It's fine, it's whatever. But over the course of the conversation, he slowly starts stepping in your direction. Just stands closer to you. Because go ahead and roll awareness. This is for empathy's sake. Oh, this is going to be a D6. This kid is just a kid.
Do I need to take another picture?
No. You will, but you don't have to. Please don't. But you will.
4,
You can
by the
read
way.
him. You read him like a book.
Yeah, so that is a 14.
Yeah. You read him like a book in that he's inching closer to you because not only are you a vessel, but you're closer to his age and he knows you. And Vaden teaching him is one thing. He is seasoned and knows what he's doing. But you're there with it, man. Long and short of it.
Yeah.
So
So I mean, as we're talking to him and catching up, Kirdan will look at him and go, "I've got something to show you, Nicholas.
what?
Okay, you've got your own vessel training that you're doing. I've been doing mine, and I learned a little bit of extra control." And so he'll just pull up his left hand. He's like, "You remember how this one could only do lightning before?" And he'll flash the lightning.
Okay.
Watch that. We'll watch this, and he'll flip it to water, just pure water.
That's weird. Can I touch it? Can I touch it?
Yeah, go for it.
And as he does his hand pass into the liquid?
Yeah, probably just a little bit.
Oh, that's weird.
Okay, and I'll pull it out because there's an even cooler thing I need to show you. I learned how to put them together. And he'll coat it in the electricity.
Whoa!
You are not to touch that.
This one's very dangerous.
Yep. Can I do that? I can't do that. That's not air. That's air. That's not air. Is
So
that air?
he'll put it away, and then he'll look at him and say, "You won't be able to do the water, but you will get control of the lightning at some point." Hedgemid is the god of the skies, and all of the skies are his domain.
Wait, does that mean I can control the weather?
Maybe not quite that far.
I'm going to control the weather, and he's immediately in his
Yeah.
own little world for the next 5 minutes, just sparring to himself in a corner of his office with just like punches and dodges that are so, for a fact he's like, it's the same thing as a kid copying what he saw on Dragon Ball Z, okay? He's doing what he can to just practice the Kamehameha wave and to do it in a way that does it justice, but it's a kid emulating what he has seen on TV. It's a kid emulating what he has heard about and seen of demigods and vessels and wizards and sorcerers and soldiers and
Probably little
infected
gusts of
and-
wind coming off of his hands.
So go ahead and roll an awareness, actually.
That is a
Both of you
10
can do
total.
this. 10 total.
Mine was not as good. Mine was a 7.
So it makes sense Because as observant as you are, Ophelia, this is something that only a vessel would pick up on. Now, as you're watching, Kirdan, you feel wind being summoned. And you hear, not with your ears, but with something outside of your experience with your senses, something deeper. You hear thunder and the roar of a dragon in the distance as this child swings and twirls and spins on the balls of his feet. And you can't help but notice. This, Ophelia, I'll let you see. Both of you can't help but notice that there's a little twinkle in his eye, a lightness to his step. And with this oversized gi that this kid is wearing, it almost reminds you of another student of Mehegemet who used his sleeves to hide his signature rope dart. And this kid is grinning ear to ear. We're going to fast forward after you guys conversate a little bit more for sake of time, because we do need to coordinate some stuff after this. You make your way up almost reverently up to the shores of the lake Aeternal, the central lake, the biggest. And Hazel kneels and begins scooping out soil, kind of checking with Kirdan, is this okay? Like, and you kind of like, it should be fine. Like, you go do that thing. Ophelia, do you say anything as you plant these new bulbs?
I don't know if I would necessarily say anything. I bow. And then I kneel down beside Hazel as I go into my pocket and take out the bulbs that I've been keeping on me since pretty much we arrived at Aemarys Cove. And I start placing them where Hazel has dug up space.
Kirdan, go ahead and roll me senses.
That's a 7.
On the die or total?
Total.
Okay. You have the feeling that you're being watched. But you turn in the direction of that feeling towards the forest line and see no one. You are reverently watching as Ophelia does her work. She buries the bulbs. These are bulb flowers.
I plant them kind of in an arc along the shoreline.
You stand, brush off your hands. It's interesting that the mossfoot, who's known for one of the most sacred growths on this side of the mountaintop, has just managed to plant new life on the shores of Aeternal. Go ahead.
To add with it, Kirdan has been keeping his eyes on the tree line, but once he sees that Ophelia and Hazel have stood up, knowing exactly where the bulbs are, he'll peel his eyes away from that and he'll go over to the lake itself, put his hand on it, and just say, just like in a low-toned Akedan, we thought we'd bring some home here. And he'll pull just a little bit of water, just enough to give the bulbs their first good watering from the lake, and he'll pour it over them.
The water drenches the bulbs. The entire arc of these bulbs is now saturated and soaking in the warmth of this geothermal, super rich nutrient water. Ophelia, as you step behind Kirdan, and you might have noticed him kind of pulling away, some effort to look away from the tree line. Why don't you roll me a senses? Just to see if this is lost on the two of you.
That is an 11.
11's a good roll. We are
11's a
friends
good
now.
roll. You look and you spot, stepping out from behind a birch, Alkaline. She makes eye contact with you, Ophelia. Glancing at Kirdan, there was an avoidance there almost. Like she could have been spotted but stepped out of the way when she realized he was looking. When she looks to you again, she gives you a nod. A little
You
bit of a
nod
smirk.
back.
She feels like there's this vibe on her that she wants to join you, but she doesn't feel like it's appropriate before she turns on her heel and starts walking back down the path. And as you four, Firestorm, Hazel, Kirdan, and Ophelia, look down on this arc, look up at the clear sky, watching the dawn come over the southernmost, southeasternmost peak of the Three Sisters Lakes. A new dawn rises. The sky is clear. The weather's bitingly cold. And yet, for all the hardship you face, there's warmth here. And with that, we're going to conclude tonight's session. All right. For those at home, thanks so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed this playtest. If you're interested, you can wait on our next couple sessions. I'm going to be including links where you can subscribe, not just on YouTube, but you can also subscribe for places like Ko-fi to support us monetarily. We hope to be able to garner enough to be able to pay our way towards getting a GoFundMe or like a Kickstarter, something like that, that we could be able to find an artist, be able to find an editor, to be able to bring all of this text together and turn it into something meaningful for you at home. It's not going to be something that bothered me, and I don't know if it bothers these guys too, but it's always bothered me that the manual for a TTRPG had to exist in two halves, one facing the players and one facing the host. I can see the logic in that, but I feel like if we want to play the game, we should just have everything handy. And it's going to be simple enough that we can literally put it in our hands and run with it. So, stick with us. We're super glad you're here. Thank you so much for spending some time hanging out with us. We'll be back in 2 weeks for the next session. Until then, I've been Dale. I am Karma, the guy that portrays the world and everyone in it outside of people like Kim. Kim, who are you playing?
My name's Kim. I play Ophelia Barkhollow.
And this guy.
I'm Haydn. I play Kirdan, the vessel of Akiren. Last name pending.
Last name pending. There you go. All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Baba boy.